Hey guys, this is Protective Voiceless, also known as Eradicate Eugenics. Um, this is my second live to go live for 30 days. And the first video I showed uh, the Future Like Hours paper on, TikTok, right? So I'm going to show you the Advanced Directive Law. And this is kind of important because the Advanced Directive Law is, the Adriana Smith case that they keep bringing up, right? So I'm just going to read to you. It's actually a very short paper. So if it's not really brought up anymore, but it was when it was relevant, right? Obviously, Adriana Smith, she was brain unalived, and they could not take her off life support because of two conditions. And this paper is going to state this. So let us read this. One moment. One second before I read it. One second before I read it. All right, so you can find this on lawjustia.com, codes Georgia, Title 31, Chapter 32, Section 31329. So that's where you would find this information. Title 31, Health 3111 3154 4. Chapter 32, Georgia Advanced Directive for Healthcare Act 31 32 30. 31 32 1, 31 32 14, Section 31329, Conditions Precedent to Carrying Out Healthcare Treatment Preferences. Physicians' failure to comply with treatment preferences. So, Universal Citation, GA Code 3132 2024. Okay. So, how many pages are there? Let's see. Next. I'm not sure how many there are. Added 2007. This is the important part. All right. Let's see here. We're going to get to the part where we talk about this. Let's see here. It was this part. This is the important part. So, there's two main conditions, or at least technically the one. So, here we go. I'm going to read this specific page. Prior to effecting a withholding or withdrawal of licensing procedures, or withdrawal of a withholding or withdrawal of the provision of nourishment or hydration from declarant person to declarant's declarations in advance directive for healthcare. The attending physician shall determine the best of the attending physician's knowledge, the declarant is not pregnant, or if she is, the fetus is not viable, and the declarant has not specially indicated in advance directive for healthcare that the declarant's declarations regarding withholding or withdrawal of life-sustaining procedures, or withholding or withdrawal of the provision or nourishment or hydration to be carried out. All right, so what does this mean? So, as you can see here, it's two conditions. The fetus does not be viable, and also there has to be a advanced directive indicated for this case. So, fetus is viable. It's unknown if they mean a viable pregnancy or it's able to survive outside the womb. It's actually unknown what they mean by viable in this context. And she has she would have had a advance directive that specifically says, right, that they're allowed to remove her. She did not. You couldn't find that. So that is why they kept her on life support, right? I'm not talking about the interviews. I'm just talking about the law itself. This law, as you can see, added 2007, came into effect 2007, years before Roe v. Wade was overturned. So let's read the second part. Shall, without delay or after the diagnosis of a terminal condition or a state of permanent unconsciousness of the declarant, take necessary steps to provide for certification of the declarant's terminal condition, state, or permanent unconsciousness in accordance with procedure set forth in subsection B of this code section. So make a reasonable effort to determine an advance directive for healthcare complies with code section 3132.5 and shall meet the advance directive for healthcare and written clarification of the terminal condition or state of permanent unconsciousness of part of the declarant's patient's medical records. So, the procedure for establishing a terminal condition or state permanent unconsciousness is as follows. 2 physicians, one of whom shall be the attending physician, who, after personally examining the declarant, shall certify in writing, based upon conditions found during the course of the examination, and in accordance with currently accepted medical standards, that the declarant is in a terminal state or state of permanent unconsciousness. The advance directive for healthcare shall be presumed, unless revoked, to be directions of the declarant regarding withholding or withdrawal of life-sustaining procedures or withholding or withdrawal of the provision of nourishment or hydration. The attending physician who fails or refuses to comply with the declarant's directions regarding or withholding the withdrawal of life-sustaining procedures or withholding or withdrawal of the provision of nourishment or hydration shall advise promptly the healthcare agent if one is appointed or otherwise next of kin or legal guardian, declarant that such physician is unwilling to effectuate such directions. The attending physician shall, therefore, after the election of the healthcare agent, if one is appointed, otherwise next of kin, legal guardian, declarant, make good faith attempt to transfer the declarant to another physician who will comply with the declarant's directions regarding withholding or withdrawal of life-sustaining procedures or the withholding or withdrawal of precision nourishment or hydration, or a permanent healthcare agent if one is appointed or otherwise next of kin or legal guardian, or withdrawal of life-sustaining procedures or withholding or withdrawal of provision of nourishment or hydration. Okay. We're not going to read all of this, but like I said, this is on lawjustia.com. That was the important part that was worth bringing up. I'm not sure how many are there of these. Let me actually check. Well, there's a lot. Previous. I think that was the last one. How many are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, hold on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, Advanced directive for healthcare. Well, I don't think it refers to this one specifically. This page is, I don't think it's the, what's it called? We're not going to read all of it because I don't think it is this chapter. There's a lot of pages. This chapter shall be known as, I'm going to have to need to elapse of 30 minutes. So this chapter will be known as the Cited for Georgia Advanced Directive Healthcare Act. Added 2007, effective 2007. Let me see 2003. I mean, 2023. Okay. So obviously these things were kind of altered, but they're basically kind of the same thing. We gotta get the 20, we gotta get those 30 minutes up anyways. We're not gonna go through the whole thing. I'm not gonna read it all. Because it's not actually related to the pregnancy, obviously. So I'm just gonna have it here. Like I said, this is in the law, justia.com. If you guys want me to read it all, I will, but I'm trying to go live at my main as well. This is a lot. This is a lot. Let me try to find something else. So I think you get the point. That is the Advanced Directive Law. Like I said, here it is. I got it from Discord. There it is. That's where you can find that law. Let me find something else. Okay, so let me try to change the title as well. I'm not sure if I'm able to do that. Settings. I think you can change the title. Let me try to see it. I think you can change the title. But I already showed the Advanced Directive Law. Like I said, the Advanced Directive Law. Let me try to put it. Okay. So I'm going to show multiple citations. So I did like the Advanced Directive Law, like I said, was right here. Laws. Here's this one. So we're going to go to this one. Like I said, it's right here, justina.com. That's where you can find the Advanced Directive Law. That's where you can find it. Let me copy this citation, put it in the Discord. All right, so let's go back. So we're going to find the reasons for why people get these abortions. This is from Lozier Institute. And we're going to show, right here, Lozier Institute. While, yeah, it is a pro-life organization, obviously the citations you can find are they received from the Guttmacher Institute, which the Guttmacher Institute obviously was research arm of Planned Parenthood. It's a pretty accurate resource, originally published in 2022. This fact sheet was updated on 2014, 2023, and then updated May 24, 2024. There you go. 2024. There you go. All right. So we're looking at the Charlotte Lozier Institute Reasons for Abortions. So this is, again, the most recent this was taken was 2024, because obviously 2025 is not finished and the statistics didn't come out. So 0.4% is rape and incest. Risk to woman's life or other major bodily function, 0.3. Other physical health concerns, 2.2. Abnormality in the unborn baby, 1.2. Elective and unspecified reasons. So basically any reason or no reason given. As where this is from, you can find that there. After the Supreme Court ruling in Dobbs v. Jackson, Women's Health Organization, the states across the country have enacted laws that limit abortion. Frequently, these states' laws make exceptions for abortions and certain reasons, such as rape or incest, risk to mother's life or health, or fetal abnormality. Accessing the number of abortions performed for various reasons can be challenging due to poor quality U.S. abortion data resulting from inconsistent reporting requirements. Periodic surveys by pro-abortion organizations have been done of women visiting abortion centers. However, these surveys do not provide a look at an abortion specifically performed for common legal exceptions. For this report, we compiled publicly available data from 8 states that collected reported data on reasons for choosing abortion. We selected data from 2021, the years before Dobbs was decided. Because many of these states limited abortion after Dobbs, these states accounted for approximately 123,000 abortions in 2021. That would be around 13% of U.S. total in 2020. Some of these states allow women to report multiple reasons for an abortion to write in a particular reason. While some others want to select the top reason and choose for a predetermined list. Additionally, some states provide more precise reasons than others, develop an estimated percentage of abortions performed or given. Data was combined for each state reporting for a particular reason. So these are the states. This is an estimation, obviously, but it's based off the information that they did get. Overall, common exceptions for abortion limits are estimated to account for less than 5% of all abortions. As you can see, this number restates back up to here. Again, this is based off the information that we do have, since most other states don't report this information. So it's based off of what we do have. This could estimate the number of abortions performed for each reasons. However, because in some states, and a significant percentage of women decline to share a reason, diversity abortions for these reasons could be overestimated, since the states that prevent multiple reasons to be reported, a single abortion can have been performed for more than one of these reasons. However, in Florida, which allows only reason for each abortion, requires the abortion provider to list a reason before the abortion report form can be submitted. Abortions for reasons that correspond to exceptions accounted for less than 3 of the total in 2021. Due to the voluntary nature of the state abortion reporting, the total number of abortions was estimated by the Guttmacher, which again was the research arm of Planned Parenthood Institute in 2020, the most recent year which Guttmacher administered its full abortion facility survey, is 50% higher than the official U.S. total from the Center for the CDC, which monitors U.S. abortion trends. The CDC does not request information on reasons for abortion from states. So it is not included on national reports, as Dobbs has resulted in a shift in where my abortions are performed and complications that are associated with them. The CDC should strengthen reporting requirements and additional data from these states. And that's the sources that they got these from. Oh, wait, I should read these. Here. Let's get to here. This is the important part. Number 4. Okay, so these are the states that they got: Arizona, Florida, Louisiana, Minnesota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Utah. Minnesota has no gestational limits. So, number 4, according to Guttmacher Institute, there were an estimated 930,000 abortions, 160 abortions in the United States in 2020. I'm not going to see this citation right. Yeah, it's going to change it. Yeah, it's Guttmacher, obviously. I'm not going to go to that citation right now. Data from 8 states with 122,773 total abortions. Reasons of domestic violence and abuse are included in those totals. Number of abortions performed in state residents in Utah in the case of a rape is suppressed because it's too small. Data from 6 states with 143,000 total abortions. Again, those are the states that were mentioned above. Data from 6 states with 119 total abortions. Again, states from above. Data from 8 states with 1,222,773 total abortions. South Dakota does not include fetal anomaly as reason, but separately reports the number of abortions performed with babies with abnormalities. Abortions for reasons listed above subtracted from 100. Abortions with no particular reason was reported included as elective and unspecified total. So if no reason was just included. Guttmacher estimates 930,000 abortions in 2020, while CDC reports 620,000. Okay, so that's where you can find these. Let's see the citation because I haven't seen this. So here, information. So you can choose which state. 3 does not collect or report data. So that's California. And I'm not very good at geography. There you go. States reported abortion data through 2022. So a lot of them, more than half. States reported abortion data through 2021. There you go. States reported data through 2022 earlier. Let's try Texas. That's a lot of information. But I think Texas is kind of important. So I'm not sure if this is the 30 minutes. How long has this live been going? It doesn't tell you. 1 second. Okay. It doesn't tell you. 1 second. Okay, now I can't. I think it's frozen. Like, legitimately, it's frozen. It's actually frozen. Okay, whatever. 2024, so this is Texas. Find this in the Charlotte Lozier Institute. Texas 2024. This is, I believe it was edited in October 14th, 2025. Or, that's when it was published. I think that was when it was published, so pretty recently. 2024, 78 abortions at brick and mortar facilities in the state were reported to Texas Health and Human Services. This information was published in 2025. As you can see, it shows a drop from abortions in 2023 and earlier. Data published by the state does not include the total number of abortions obtained by Texas residents outside of the states, obviously, and those performed in certain states, or the number of self-managed abortions performed by women outside the healthcare system. The report does not contain a number of mail order abortion drugs. obtained by Texas residents prescribed by licensed providers in other states in a separate section. Charlotte Lozier Institute will describe data provided by Guttmacher's Institute Monthly Abortion Provision Study. Details the number of the Texas residents who travel out of state to obtain abortions at Brink Motor facilities via telehealth in other states. Okay, Texas Regulatory Code defines abortion. This is how Texas defines it: as an act of using, prescribing an instrument, a drug, or medicine, or any substance or device or means with the intent to cause the death of an unborn child of a woman known to be pregnant. The statute code also notes that abortion is not synonymous with acts intended to save the life or preserve the health of an unborn child, or the removal of a dead unborn child whose death was caused by miscarriage or type of pregnancy. There you go. This part is important. You cannot say the code. You probably have to look at the code specifically. But, see, I think here's the code number right here. Right here. It literally states that a miscarriage and ectopic pregnancies are not illegal. They're not the same thing. They're not synonymous. They're not similar. The code in Texas literally says ectopic pregnancies and miscarriages are not the same thing as abortions. They're not similar. So there you go. So those treatments are obviously legal. Currently, abortions are prohibited in Texas except in cases where continued pregnancy will threaten a mother's life or physical health. The legalization has been in effect along with the state's civility enforced at conception law since August and June of 2022, respectively. All 78 brick-and-mortar abortions performed on residents in Texas 24 reformed to save the life of the mother or preserve the health of physical health So here's the code. 1 second. I'm going to go into more detail one day. There's a lot of pages. There's a lot. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to show you. Oh, the penal code. I'm not going to read all of it, obviously. Article 1191. Okay, so here's the chapter. I'm not going to show you all of it, just some of it. So here's abortion. Abortion. If any person shall designedly administer to a pregnant woman or knowingly proceed to administer with her consent any drug or medication, or shall use towards any violence or means whatever externally or internally applied, and therefore proceed in abortion, he shall be confined in penitentiary not less than 2 nor more than 5 years. If be done without her consent, the punishment shall be doubled. By abortion is meant that the life of the fetus or embryo shall be destroyed in a woman's womb, or that a premature birth therefore be caused. Furnishing the means, whoever furnishes that means for procuring an abortion, knowing the procedure intended the guilty as accomplice, attempt at abortion. If the means shall fail to produce an abortion, a offender is nevertheless guilty of attempt to produce an abortion, provided it is shown that the means were calculated to produce results shown that means shall be fined no less than $100 nor $100,000. Murder in pursuing abortion. The death of the mother is occasioned by an abortion, so produced or by an attempt effect the same, it is murder. Destroying the unborn child, whoever shall during not sure you can see it here. Yeah. parturition of the mother destroy the vitality or life in child state of being born before actual birth, which child would otherwise have been born alive, shall be confined potentially for life or no less than 5 years. Medical advice. Nothing in this chapter applies to abortion procedure attempted. Medical advice and purpose saving the life of the mother. There you go. Okay. I can't see the comments. I don't know why I can't. I think it's frozen. I can't see any comments. It's frozen. It's actually frozen. I'm not going to go into depth today. This is the amount of abortions that happen in Texas, the laws. Out of state, in state. Like I said, these are actually the law. These are the complications. I'm not going to read all of it. Very small print, by the way. These are some complications about abortion. Shock, urine perforation, cervical laceration, hemorrhage, aspiration, or allergic response, infection, sepsis, death of the patient, incomplete abortion, damage to the uterus, infant born alive after the abortion. These are just some of the complications. Okay, so Texas 2024 abortion report includes a third full year of data for expanded complication reporting required under Texas HSC 171.006. There are new requirements were added to SB 4, which was signed into law by Texas Governor Greg Abbott in 2021 and went into effect in December 2nd of that year. The additional requirements expanded on state's complication reporting law, which was passed in HB 13 in 2017. In 2024, Texas received 129 forms from abortion facilities, including 7 duplicate forms. Multiple complications can be reported on each form. Multiple forms can be submitted in a single patient or complication. Although duplicates are included in the total number of forms received, Texas removes duplicates from the counts before reporting total number of complications. In 2024, 182 complications were reported by facilities compared to 2023, where there were 155. Most frequent complications was incomplete abortion, which occurred 54 times. There were 41 cases of hemorrhage, 19 cases of infection, 12 cases of failure to terminate the pregnancy, which it survived, 9 cases of sepsis, and 7 cases of endometriosis. There were 3 cases of missed ectopic pregnancy, adverse reaction to anesthesia or other drugs, as well as 2 cases of damaged uterus, shock, and urine perforation. There was 1 case of renal failure, metabolic disorder, and embolism fluid accumulation in the abdomen, and blood clot resulting in either a pulmonary embolism or deep vein thrombosis. There were 13 other unspecified complications that met Food and Drug Administration's definition of adverse events. 10 babies, this is kind of important. 10 babies reported to have been born alive during the abortion in 2024. There was no further information reported on the baby's outcomes. There were 0 abortion-related maternal deaths reported in 2024. Since 2008, when strengthened born alive reporting requirements went into effect, 31 born alive survivors have been reported in the state. Okay. Guttmacher data. 3. Guttmacher estimated that 28,170 abortions were obtained by Texas residents who traveled to other states to obtain abortion. To compare, Texas reported 7,000 abortions obtained by Texas women out of state, a total of 302 lower than Guttmacher's estimates. One potential explanation is the large discrepancy that is not every state that Texas women travel to reports abortion data back to Texas. These to see the number of abortions obtained by Texas women according to Guttmacher in various states, see below. So here are the states. States traveled by Texas. Number of abortions obtained by Texas women who traveled to other states to get abortions, 2024. Arizona, 160. California, 1,640. Colorado, 4,190. Colorado has no gestational limits. It's legal through all 9 months of pregnancy. District of Columbia, 160. Florida, 360. Illinois, 1,230, Kansas 6,780, Maryland 140, Michigan 120, North Carolina 120, New Mexico 12,000, 0 and 10. Again, New Mexico has no gestational limits. Nevada 390, New York 490, Virginia 230, Washington State 190. Okay. I'll read these last 3 paragraphs. What the heck? One can see from this data and table that abortions performed in Texas women are still occurring. They're just more often happening in different states. While the number of abortions obtained by Texas women in other states increased from 2023 to 2024, data from Society Family Planning showed that 335,810 additional abortion drugs were sent to Texas women. Drugs are sent to states by prescribers in other states who then mailed drugs to Texas women under their respective state shield laws. If one looks at the total number of abortions obtained by Texas women in and out of states, as reported by states, 7,680, or 7,086. Number is 804% lower than combined total reported by Guttmacher and hashtag we count 64,060. Related to the issue of shield laws, Texas attorney sued a New York doctor in 2024 who was sending abortion drugs to Texas. The case arose when the aforementioned New York doctor sent abortion drugs to Texas women who then took drugs, experienced a complete abortion, and suffered serious complications. The Attorney General noted that Texas law prohibits abortion drugs from being transported via the mail system. Texas also prohibits prescription drugs via telehealth to Texas women unless the doctor hosts a valid Texas medical license, which the implicated doctor does not have. In response, the state of New York, under the state law shields, refused to extradite the doctor in question or force Texas settlement, and is now under direction of New York Attorney General, barring Ulster County court system from enforcing out-of-state punishment. The article is here. I'll tell you about this. And the article will tell you the details of what happened. So obviously New York shielded that. They obviously were going to enforce that. September 17th, Greg Abbott signed HB 7, 2025. It'll state here what that is. This legislation allows citizens to sue anyone who manufactures, distributes, mails, transports, delivers, prescribes, or provides abortion drugs to Texas residents. The bill expressly exempts the women taking the drugs from legal punishment. There you go. Women are completely immune from taking these. In essence, the law theoretically aims to deter people from sending abortion drugs to the state. The law is slated to go into effect December 4th, 2025. However, some online abortion drug providers have declared they still plan on sending abortion drugs. The state claiming that respective states shield law protections from legal punishment. I think you get the gist of that. Let's see here. I'm just looking around. This is the Lawyers Institute where you can find all this information. This is the individual states. This one is important. These three things I'm probably gonna end after this. Okay, this is what I've been mentioned many times, and I actually heard this from Kristen Hawkins a few years ago. So, of 193 UN countries, the United States is one of the 8 countries that allows, at the federal level, abortion on demand without any gestational limits, along with Australia, Canada, China, Guinea-Bissau, Mexico, South Korea, and Vietnam. You can also add in Russia, but obviously Russia is not part of the UN. Basically, what this means is, here you go, international norms. I'll click on this site after 1 second. All pro-life states allow doctors to exercise a reasonable medical judgment to treat women with pregnancy emergencies. No law requires certainly or imminence before a doctor can act. Doctors, hospitals who fail to provide with necessary treatment in emergency may be committing malpractice. There you go. I will read this another time. This is a very long paper. Obviously, they're allowed. Protect life. There you go. I'm not going to show you the whole paper, but this, in short, I'm just going to show you. America, as you can see, we'll go back here, is one of the most extreme countries when it comes to abortion, as you can see right here. All right, so that was the part that we read. United States is one of the only 50 countries in the United Nations that permit abortion on demand past 15 weeks of gestation, meaning abortion law is far more permissive than the vast majority of the world. 46 out of 50 European United Nations. Member countries restrict abortion on demand after 15 weeks of gestation. There you go. Obviously, they don't use the same definition of abortion, obviously. So some of them consider abortion, right, for example, conception, fertilization. Some countries, is, implantation, right? Basically what this means is, obviously in an egg and sperm, conception, fertilization, so an egg and sperm unite to create a human being, a unique human being. No one knows. I know it says few women. You can like guess when you conceived. The thing is, nobody knows that they conceive when it occurs. Okay, seven. So 70 unit and countries permitting abortion on demand. 7 countries limit abortion on demand before 12 week of gestation. 38 countries limit abortion on demand at 12 weeks of gestation. 10 countries limit abortion on demand between 12 and 15 gestation. 15 countries permit abortion on demand 15 weeks or have no gestational limit. Of these 15 countries, 8 countries permit abortion on demand with no federal gestational limit. Here you go. I'm not going to go through every single country. France has it in this constitution. Basically what it means, like Canada, sure, abortion may be restricted in some provinces, but there is no federal law banning it. So literally it's legal in all 9 months in these countries. Same thing in Australia. Illegal. The strictest limit is 16 weeks. So whenever they say a country, America is going backwards, actually, America, as I said, is one of the 8 countries in the UN that allows abortion for any reason, 9 months, no restrictions. There is no federal law that bans them. It is the most extreme. All right, so here's some other things we can read to use up the time. Okay, the Hyde Amendment. Okay, it just means the Hyde Amendment is just it prevents taxpayer dollars being used for federal taxpayer dollars for elective abortions, and we are ready to determine what elective abortions are. Obviously, after 6 weeks. So I heard Meatball saying states don't pay for abortions. Well, right here, Medicaid. There you go, Rhode Island. So this took effect and immediately required Rhode Island state Medicaid to start covering elective abortions. There you go. If only I could take a picture of this. There you go. Covers it. Rhode Island allows this. If it's into the legal system, it's definitely happening. So we're going to read this part and then we're going to end. I'm going to show the safe haven laws another time. I'm definitely going to redo this another time. So myth. Pro-life laws will criminalize women who get abortions. No pro-life law in America criminalizes a woman for seeking and obtaining an abortion. There you go. Unfortunately, legal analysis of states' current laws, statutes, and opinions demonstrates that women will not be prosecuted in their state for seeking an abortion. There you go. Can't be criminalized, unfortunately. Pro-life law states preventing women care from receiving emergency care. All pro-life laws state allow doctors to exercise a reasonable medical judgment to treat women with pregnancy emergencies. As I said, they can treat women with ectopic pregnancies or miscarriages. You can see right here. I will go into detail at another time. This is just a short glimpse. Myth, no state allows abortion up to the moment of birth. 9 states plus the District of Columbia place no limits on how late-term abortion can be performed. 2 others have adopted extreme ballot amendments that will permit abortion throughout all 9 months. There you go. While many abortion centers only perform abortions in early pregnancy, there are several abortion centers across that perform abortions in third trimester for any reason. What is the third trimester of abortion to birth? The third trimester begins around 28 weeks of gestation, lasts until birth, months 7, 8, and 9 of typical pregnancy. The phrase up to abortion to birth is sometimes used to describe third trimester abortions as they occur at the same general time frame which babies are born. For 28 weeks, the beginning of the third trimester, a baby would be considered extremely preterm. However, once pregnancy is reached the third trimester, babies are no longer extremely preterm. Babies born between 28 and 32 weeks are considered very preterm. Babies between 32 weeks and 37 weeks are considered modern or late preterm. Birth is considered term if it occurs between 37 and 42 weeks. The due date occurs at 40 weeks. A baby is born at 28 weeks has an overall survival expected rate. So that's probably the highest chance, the earliest that's probably the highest probability it'll survive at 28 weeks. That's 90%. It'll survive even later, obviously, but that's pretty high, 28 weeks. That's the probability. So viability, the probability would be at 28 weeks, obviously. The CDC shows that in 2023, 78% of all live births occurred prior to 40 weeks of gestation, which makes sense. Most abortions, as you can see right here, this is in 2023, most abortions do not go to the full 40 weeks. 2% of babies are born between 28 and 33 weeks, 8% between 34 and 36, 30%, 37 and 38 weeks, and 38% at 39 weeks. So again, most pregnancies do not go to the full 40. Obviously, they do happen at 42 weeks, beyond, obviously, at that point, obviously. There are no federal limits on how late abortion can be affirmed or any restrictions on those reasons for abortion. After Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs v. Jackson overturned Roe v. Wade, states and the federal government regained the ability to protect life through pregnancy, but many states have chosen not to do so. Currently, 9 states plus the District of Columbia place no limits on how late abortion can be performed, while several other states have adopted extreme ballot amendments that perform abortions throughout all 9 months. Additionally, a few states have actively removed protections for abortion survivors. Also, of the 193 UN member countries, the United States is one of the only 8 countries that has no gestational limit for elective abortion. As I stated before, as I showed. I'm not going to show the whole thing. So this is the citation. I'm actually going to copy this into Discord. Statistics. Because this will be important for later. That was when the reason why abortions are performed. Like the third trimester, obviously. So I think that's enough for today. Control C. So I'm definitely going to return to this later. So the Hyde Amendment, there you go. Control C. There you go. So I think that's enough for today. We're going to go back to another time. So thanks everybody for joining. I'm going to go live in my main. Thank you. Thanks for everybody for joining. So thanks everybody for joining. I'm going to go live in my main. Thank you. Thanks for everybody for joining. I'm going to end. Yeah, it's frozen. I don't see any comments. Yeah, I'm going to end.